Good afternoon, everyone. It's Wednesday, August 30th. It's just me today. Hopefully, we'll have our partner, Joseph Levy, back with us tomorrow. Usually, the show is at 1 p.m. I had a personal conflict, so doing it here today at 2:30 p.m. A little bit of that about the schedule. It's, again, Wednesday, August 30th. Today, every Wednesday at 4 p.m., we have an interactive Zoom session for our VIPs. It's usually an intimate crowd, just a few people, do some due diligence on stocks and talk about whatever you want to. Any personal questions or advice or anything, we do that as well. Wednesdays at 4 p.m. But today we have a special guest coming onto our private Zoom. Special guest talking about overstock, deep dive due diligence, why we think overstock sales are doubling. We're going to look at the channel checks, and we're going to be able to talk to this guy who's an expert in overstock, one of the largest shareholders, not the largest shareholders, but a very, very large shareholder in the company. Who's been invested for many, many years and knows all the ins and outs. So I highly recommend that you join for that. If you're not a VIP member, app right now, install the app and you get access to a free trial so you can join us for that 4 p.m. Zoom. It's going to be really, really interesting. Now, we had a great morning show. Lots of predictions came out true to the penny or almost to the penny. All right, we'll talk about that in just a second. First, just looking at SPY, QQQ, ARK, IWM. I know there's pullbacks right now, but everything's still green. And importantly, everything's over the key moving averages. I can't believe this. I know yesterday was a key day. I thought we were bearish and we're not going to get back over those key moving average. We did. And, I got to adjust. And I'm long now. All right. Got a long bias. And that's sometimes you got to let the charts overcome any macroeconomic worries you have, and that's what it is. So we're bullish, okay? And speaking of risk assets and ARKK, there's a lot of risk assets with beautiful charts right now, breaking the 20 DMA, breaking the 50 DMA, and that's a good sign for that kind of risk appetite to trickle down maybe to stocks like APRN. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. Guys, now's probably a good time to let you know, put in those requests in the chat. If there's something you want me to talk about, put it in now. All right. So we don't have a delay at the end of the show. Sometimes I see the questions coming in after I end the show. So put that in right now to make sure we get to any stocks you're thinking about. This morning, we gave you NVIDIA early in the morning. I think I put it in the chat room, but if not, we gave it to you at 9 a.m. Said, all right, this is going to retest 500. Specifically, I thought we'd go to the high 502.66. Now, I didn't necessarily imagine it will happen in one day, but we got very close in one day. 499.27 was the high of the day. We're not really actively trading it. We just have a position here in NVIDIA. But the thesis was yesterday when SPY, I'm correlating this with the price action in SPY, because SPY had that big gap last week. It was right here. This big gap, and then it was rejected. This gap coincided with, in the news, because things were on downward trajectory prior to NVIDIA reporting. Then we got the big gap on positive NVIDIA news, and both NVIDIA and SPY were rejected and went down hard. So once we reclaimed that level, that was a green signal for me that NVIDIA and the AI stocks would be back. Okay, so once we did that, I'm like, okay, we're going back. If SPY was able to get past the high of that day, then it goes to follow that NVIDIA would be able to get to the highs of that day. That's the logic there. We got close. We'll see. We'll probably get there. I don't know exactly when, but that was why we had NVIDIA as one of our top 5 picks today. SMSI, we also gave this to you as a top pick the last few days, and we've been giving you a target of 170 the last few days. Well, this morning on the show, we upgraded, actually it was yesterday afternoon if you're in the app, we upgraded the price target to 178. So we got rid of the 170. We said 178 is your first price target. The next one is 208. Well, it was a good thing we lifted the 170 target, because we did make it past 178. We made it all the way to 187, okay, with a next one here at 208. That 178, that's a 50-week moving average. Okay, so if we can reclaim that 50-week moving average, the next, the 208, that's the gap right there. All right, we did a full deep analysis on SMSI, on price action, on fundamental analysis. What's the company worth? How do we square that with the technicals? We had a really good show today at 12 p.m. with Chris Tuttle from Tuttle Trades. That show's for VIPs only. If you go into our app and you put an SMSI in your watch list, you go into the SMSI page, you're going to see the recording of that show. And I highly recommend you watch that to learn more about the potential of SMSI and where it's going to go from here. Okay, so it hit our upgraded target 1. We've been nailing SMSI for you guys to the penny. We gave it to you right here on August 9th, right at the open at 120 with a 170 target. Can you believe it? Then we said, all right, now's the time to sell. And we said, time to buy back in is the 20 DMA. And can you believe it? It bounced right off the 20 DMA. And then we gave it to you again yesterday or Monday morning. I guess it was Monday after we got word that the AT&T app was approved. We got the PR this morning. And again, not only challenging like last time, the 200 DMA, we predicted it would break it. It did. I mean, this is a play. This is like we got this down. SMSI, unbelievable. So, in any case, this has been our best performing trade of the month. All right. So that's the story with SMSI. And GoodRx we gave you this morning when the stock was $6.32. And we gave you a target of $6.70. Can you believe it? Like, how many services do that? Unbelievable. To the penny. 671 was the high. Oh my gosh. We only played a very small amount, but unbelievable how that worked. And that's story trading style, right? That's the power of interpreting a news release in the morning. And we told you in the morning, this is not very important news release, but the stock has been down so much. It's very far below its moving average, while ARKK and all the risk assets have moved up and at least hit one moving average above it. This hasn't even done that yet. So let's just take this morning's news release as an excuse. 1 + 1 = 3, okay, and say 670 target at the 50 DMA, and to the pen No one else is going to be able to do this for you. No one else, no technical traders could have predicted this morning at $6.30 we're going to 670. No fundamental investor would have saw that press release and said this is important to the company. It really wasn't that important to the company. So that's the magic we do here at Story Trading. 1 + 1 = 3. The holistic view based on the 4-pillar analysis of sentiment, catalysts, fundamentals, and technicals. And for GoodRx, it worked out perfectly. For Biotricity, it didn't really work out. We were able to get out of this at break even. We gave you a 225 target, but it was just not enough volume. Well, look, actually, maybe the target was too high because the target was meant to be the 50-day moving average, and it did like basically touch it. That would have been the target, but just not enough liquidity with the stock. The spreads are too big, so this one didn't work out, but worth checking into in terms of investment. Time to check maybe and see how they're doing. Oh, Biotricity, run rate of $13 million a year with a market cap. I'm not saying it's investment yet. I don't think it is. Market cap of 19 million, run rate of 13 million. You got to check their cash position. And if they need to raise money, that's going to be the real key if this stock's going to get unlocked and go higher. Overstock, okay, that didn't work out today. Okay, didn't work out today. And it's really underperformed both ARK, which is unusual, and Wayfair, which is unusual because this is, if it doesn't follow ARK, it follows Wayfair. And today it's been down. And you know what? I just posted something on Twitter where, I usually believe markets make sense. Markets are efficient. What's this bid we're getting? Did someone just buy Biotricity? Come on. All right. Without me. All right. Anyway, I usually believe markets make sense. I call that efficiency. Some people take exception to that. But if you don't like efficiency, markets make sense, meaning they're logical, right? You can attribute reasons to the price action, and those reasons make logical sense. You may not agree with the reasons. You may think, oh, this guy buying DWAC here because of some Trump news, like that's crazy, that's inefficient. But if you understand how the market works, you won't say that's inefficient. You'd actually say that's efficient because it's about supply and demand, and you understand the reasons why someone wants to buy DWAC, and that's actually efficiency. That's not inefficiency. Again, some people take exception to that, so just call it markets make sense. But I just kind of conceded a little bit. Maybe I'm too close to the story. I went on Twitter. I said, you know what? I usually think markets make sense, but I'm not sure they make sense here. With Overstock underperforming both ARKK and Wayfair, with this data that's got to be out there. Maybe people don't know the data's out there. I don't know, but you got to imagine that hedge funds, which are part of, and institutions, which are part of the net aggregate opinion of the price action, they know that there's an 8 rank. Now, they may not know what Sean from Twitter, who I've collaborated with in terms of the order analysis and predicting what the revenue is for August. We talk about that at 4 p.m. They may not have been savvy enough to figure that out. Maybe not. I don't know. But the data's out there. And it's interesting to me. So I'm going to tell you, maybe this doesn't make sense. Okay. Or maybe it does. Maybe they just need to see it. Maybe the market needs to actually see it to believe it. And that's where the press release comes into play. So we'll talk about that. Still as bullish as ever on Overstock. And we're not going to give it all away on this free show. Join us at 4 p.m. on the Zoom to learn more on Overstock. QUIK has been moving towards our 950 target. Basically, I think we should be challenging the recent highs, 970 actually. So, okay, we should be challenging that 970 based on that earnings report that came out. So that's still in play, and we still have a position in that. Now, I want to suggest to you, Tesla hit the 50 DMA, got rejected, by the way. Intraday. This is really important where it closes the day. If we close above the 50 DMA, then you're good to go. But now, like a candle like this, and we close below it, then you could be looking at, oh my gosh, maybe we're headed back to 240s. That may be a possibility. So watch how Tesla closes today. Now, APRN. Okay, given the strong price action and risk assets, and I think Carvana is a good example. Let's see what Carvana is doing today. Up 4.5%, and it's not the only one. Really nice chart shaping up for Carvana. Look at that cup and handle forming. Oh my gosh. Carvana looking really good. They also had some news, I believe, this morning. But when I see price action like that, when I see ARKK back over key moving averages, I'm like, you know what? It's time for APRN again. So we got back into APRN today. All right. We did get rid of APRN when the markets were moving down. We're like, this is one of our riskiest stocks. So we sold off our riskiest stocks first, and APRN unfortunately had to get the cut. But we're back in APRN, And if RK stays above key moving averages and stocks like Carvana, if they break out, then the thesis that we talked about before is still in play. And this could be a 2, 3, 4x kind of situation with a very high short position, a very low float. 26% of the float is short and really good fundamentals. So APRN is now back at the top of my mind, and some huge moves out of APRN soon. Just want to draw attention to a couple story trading stocks that were on a morning show where they had kind of an inflection point news. Abercrombie and Finch, ANF, we gave you a $69 price target, and it kept on going. Unfortunately, we didn't keep it. We just played it for the day, and we decided to get back in today. We saw this relative strength, broke this high here at 53.02 earlier today, and fundamentally, I think 69 makes sense. So actually, we added some to our longer term account on ANF today. Also, we told you about the inflection point news this day right here, right? And that was another one. We didn't keep it. We didn't even play it that day. No, we didn't play it. Okay. We did not play it that day. Well, I didn't really have our full routine back. Now my partner is back into the full swing of things. But if we would have played it that day. But we didn't play Grab. That was some inflection point news on Grab. Analyst came a day or two later and basically said what I said. And now that keeps on moving up. So that's the super app, $15 billion market cap super app out in Asia that is basically close to break even. They made a major flip in their profitability, and now they're close to break even. All right. A couple other small items I want to mention. LLAP. I'm starting to think, look, I would not be surprised if there's an offering here. Right. I've been telling you for a few days, and I'm getting the inkling there's an offering based on the math that I did and the conversation I had with investor relations. I was trying to read between the lines, and I think they need a bridge. I think they need one more bridge financing before the payment comes through from Rivada. We can't know for sure, but this price action doesn't look very promising. Rejected at 20 DMA today. So we did reduce our position. We did reduce our position today because of the risk of an offering. And if that offering comes, we will buy back. Okay, we will buy back. The last offering was a 10% discount. The stock went to a zenith of about 14% or 15% and then quickly rebounded. So I think you can buy that offering, especially hopefully if there is an offering, hopefully it's paired with a press release that says this is the last one we need to profitability. Then the stock might not even drop if they pair it with a press release like that. But we'll have to see, because also from my conversation with IR, we do believe that Lockheed Martin deal that they got from the government, that LLAP will be getting a chunk of that. So that's also some positive news that could be announced at any time as well. So lots of moving parts here on LLAP. We're just waiting for the inflection, all right? We're just waiting for them to be able to get to a position where they can say, we now have enough cash to reach profitability, and then you're going to have a 3, 4, 5-bagger stock in a matter of months or quarters. I really, really believe that. So we're not going to lose our focus on LLAP, and we're going to make some big money on that this year if they ever are in a position to declare that, okay? So that's about what we're going to cover here today. Let me see if there's any chats over at Rumble. I don't see anything over at Rumble. Don't see anything over at YouTube. So if you're with us at 9 a.m. this morning, you got some great trade ideas. GDRX, can you believe it? To the penny, 670. SMSI, can you believe it? Not only hit the 170, but it hit our upgraded target of 178, 180 there at the 50-week moving average. I mean, uncanny calls sometimes. And Overstock, we're still feeling the pain, though, right? We're not always going to be right, but hopefully it's just a matter of timing. And then hopefully we will be right at some point on Overstock. I just got to leave you with this apron. I'm looking at this, and this chart looks spectacular. It looks to me, this looks like a cup and handle right here. You see this? That's the cup, and now this handle. Usually, like a lot of times you don't get the handle. You just get cup breakouts, right? But this time, cup, a small handle forming, and this can get exciting. So let's see if I'm right about that. As long as ARKK stays above key moving averages, you're going to have fun with stocks like APRN. They will have their day. All right. With folks, that's it. We'll see you at 4 p.m. today on Zoom. The way to get to the Zoom is to open our app. Here we go. It's StoryTrading, the app. And once you're in the app, you hit the calendar icon here. There it is. Weekly Zoom, 4 p.m. Okay. And then you just copy this code over here. And then you hit watch. Takes you to that appropriate place. You put your code in. And that's it. We're going to be talking to you at 4 p.m. today. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining.